Hey guys, this here is Getaway Driver 101, and today I'm going to be giving you a brief explanation on how to increase your computer's speed or performance. And the simplest way to do that is going to be power plan. Now, just to give you all a heads up, that if you do this and you encounter any issues, just go straight back to your original power plan. Some computers can get a little hot or overheat from power plan increase, and then I'm also going to explain how you can go in and change your power. So when you first go into power plan, you can either go to control panel, hardware, or power options. Now, if you're in control, let's say you're here, going to go to system, power options. Now, power options is the one that you need to be in to see this. If you only see the two, which would be power saver and balanced, just click the arrow and you should see high performance and ultimate performance. Do ultimate performance. When you do, click on edit power plan, and then this will be up to you. Now, this is what I run because I prefer my computer not to go into a low power state. I prefer that for a few different reasons, because one, my computer's a tower, it's a high powered one at that, and two, I run overclocks, so I try not to have the overclocks disturbed by anything. Now, this here is your minimum and maximum. To make sure that your boost clock is working correctly, do not lower these. Make sure they are both at 100. Do not put them at 0. Do not put them at 1, 1. Don't put them at 1, 1 and then 100. What that's going to do is it will disable your boost clock. They both have to be at 100, 100 for your boost clock to be able to rev all the way up and come all the way back down. Because your minimum processor state is actually going to be your minimum processor percentage, which is also going to affect how your boost clock revs up based on percentage versus power preference. So like, you don't want to have that changed whatsoever. You want that to be automated. So make sure that that's at 100, that's at 100. What that's going to do is it's going to let Windows automate its power plan. Which then for like a tool like HW Hardware Monitor, what this will show is it will show you your actual CPU clocks and your CPU percentages. So you're going to go here, and as you can see the clocks. This here is what has been recorded on average. This here is what's live. This here is what's the highest. So from that, you have your display settings for your power options. I prefer to run never. And then you have media settings. Media settings, you really want this stuff to be on like the highest possible, including video being on either performance or performance. You don't want power saving really for anything. If you're running performance on your power plan, you should run performance on your video, because you want to make sure that you're getting the highest quality or whatnot. Just gonna click cancel. Make sure none of that changed, just to make sure I didn't accidentally change anything. Okay, so all my stuff is still the way it should be. And then hard drive. If you're running dozens of hard drives, I recommend setting an off timer. Now, if you do set an off timer, I recommend setting it to like 45 minutes or something like that. So let's say you're downloading something and it's specifically on one hard drive, but the rest of them aren't being used. that will shut the rest of them down. Now, don't use this if you're only running SSDs. And the reason why I say that is because SSDs don't need a timer. It's best to be left alone when it comes to SSDs. But if you're running SSDs, 0, if you're running hard drives and SSDs, then typically you want to set it to 60 minutes. What that's going to do is if it's anything based on downloads or applications, if the hard drive is not in use, the computer will put the hard drive basically on a low power mode. It'll still be accessible, it'll still run, but it won't be running at full speed, it won't be running constant. Now, that's what the hard drive thing is explained for. Usually, typically 60 minutes is fine. That's what I recommend, because if, let's say, you're away from the computer and it's a 5-hour download, then more than likely the rest of the other hard drives don't need to run for them 5 hours while it's downloading on one drive. It's going to let the rest of them sleep, let them sleep, let them rest. After they've been running for 60 minutes straight and they've detected nothing for 60 minutes straight, they should be able to kick off into a low power state. I plan on myself getting some more hard drives later on. You know how things be with life. So this is how this works with power management. Power management is a good functionality for the computer. It lets you go in and change settings that you normally can't really change in Windows unless you look for them. And this is a good place to look for some of those special settings, and that includes even something like display. And then you even have like a screensaver and that you can find it. Yeah. So let's go back here. I'm gonna go back to system security. And then from here, you have all your other functionalities. Now, be careful doing some things with system security. If you're running system security, you can go in here and do maintenance. Make sure that's set on an automated date or an automated time. You'll never know when it starts up. Between timelines is a good way to do it, because it gives the computer like, hey, I've been on for this long, I've been activated for this long, they've been doing high mandatory tasks, and then let's say you get done doing everything and you just decide to shut the computer down. The computer will basically push it to another date. It'll push it to a later date. So your maintenance won't start up as often, but it will still be automated. I have mine set to an 8-hour time. So it's like, let's say from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the afternoon. Something like that. You can do it 11 hours, you can do it 10 hours. It doesn't matter. As long as you have the time duration pretty far apart, it will kind of give it a longer duration to decide when to do it. It won't do it as often. So that's the explanation for power plan and how to get more performance. Now you may notice that in return, by changing this, you may get a higher temperature usage and a lower CPU usage. What that means is it's pushing your core count higher and your thread count higher on everything, and it may even push your wattage up. It may push everything up. It can push the whole computer up. Now, it's only recommended to do on desktops and maybe computers that have AIOs and water-cooled, and maybe air-cooled computers if they're running dual fan. Keep it kind of relatively functional. I recommend that if you're running a i9 or 3D 900X3D, start out with high performance, do a benchmark, then maybe do ultimate performance, do a benchmark. So you can make sure that if you encounter a hot point, you can go back to high instead of ultimate, or you can set it to balanced and just let it automate. But it's whatever you prefer. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, and I will see you all next time.